Compact portable lighting. All right,
Cheers.
welcome
Cheers.
back. Cheers to Photography After Hours.
Get back here.
What? Cheers.
You already drank half my beer.
I drank half mine too.
All right, we are
Touching your
back
glass
here.
again.
We're back here today with Photography After Hours. We are sponsored by PAC, the Photographers Adventure Club. You can find out more about them at photoadvclub.com. And I'd like to introduce everyone. We have Sprague, who's back from a long overdue 4 episodes.
Hi, everybody. Yep, been out tearing it
traveling?
up across the countryside.
All right. Susie, how are you doing?
Very well.
And Scott the Hat.
Got the hat.
Giving
He's
Levi a run
incognito.
for
He's
his
different
morning
than the
meat.
other Scott that you used to know. He's a new and improved.
That's right. Always
right.
improving.
Always improving. So today we are going to be talking about your compact portable lighting and some different solutions that we found and like or may not like, and really kind of go through a couple of different things. I think we're starting off with some Speedlight stuff, right?
Yeah.
So everyone usually owns some sort of speedlight or has owned one. So what a speedlight is basically your flash that goes on top of your camera. So simple
It's a speed light.
speedlight. So they're called different things.
Flash
flashes.
guns.
Yeah.
Pocket flashes, because they fit in your pocket.
If you have a big
Big
pocket.
pockets.
Cargo pants.
Yep.
So you can get them for aftermarket. You can get Canon ones, Nikon ones, whatever proprietary camera you have. But basically, it's to be able to take the flash off the camera is the whole point of it, so that you're not shooting straight on and getting those ugly shadows behind your client or
That's
your
right.
subject. So you use these
Instead,
a
you
lot.
can get an ugly, bright pool of light on your subject.
Yes, exactly. So you use these the most, being an event photographer. So what situations should people be using flashes?
I use them almost. I use them for almost everything. And if there's no natural light, I use a flash.
Well,
pretty
even
much.
if you have natural light to kind of
Yeah, and even if you have natural light, the only time I wouldn't use a flash is if I have like just really gorgeous, beautiful window light, and that's all you need. But how many times do you have beautiful window light?
We have no windows in here.
Yeah,
never.
So you always have to augment somehow with a flash. So either I'm bouncing it off the wall or I'm using some kind of modifier on there. But
So Sprague does travel photography, and he uses a little different than you do. You've been using flashes for quite a while too, right?
Right, and when you're outdoors, a lot of times when you're taking pictures of people or when you're doing street scenes, typically what you see is that the faces, if somebody's got a hat on or they're under an awning or something like that, or they're just going by on the street, the face is kind of dark, and usually when you try to get to it in post-processing, it's so dark that if you try to bring the face up, you've got nothing but noise.
Sure,
And so it doesn't
and the
show up.
shadows.
So what you can do is take this, and you can either have it on your camera or you can have it remotely and just kind of shoot a puff of light in there, and it tends to balance it out a little bit better. And a lot of times, you just need one. And this is a little remote trigger, and this is Canon's version, and Nikon has got a version as well, but this sets up and it has multiple channels. You can put a number of flashes on each channel, although typically if you have 3 flashes, you could just put one on each, and you could have a variety of things with it. And let's see, there's another one with do you have that gel down there?
Back up a moment just to re-explain, because I don't know if we were clear enough that one piece goes on the top of your camera,
Right.
and it's going to trigger the flash remotely.
And if we weren't using all of our cameras to record this right now, then we can show you that.
Well, and the advantage of this particular flash is it's got a radio transmitter in it. Typically what you do when you set up, when you have a new set, is you have this thing called a pocket wizard. And so this pocket wizard goes on top of your camera, and you use it to trigger your flash remotely. But what that means, if you don't have a receiver in here, that you'd also have to have a pocket wizard on the flash. And
or
so
others. Pocket Wizard's just one.
It's
they
a
got
brand.
or some
Okay.
sort of a transmitter.
Yeah.
So what this would save you on a setup where you would have 2 or 3 flashes is you wouldn't have to have 3 of these, and you just have this small unit on your camera, and then you could trigger each of these flashes. So
Yeah, nowadays
it
they're
gives you a lot
building
more
everything
portability.
in.
So that's the biggest advantage of it. And then, of course, if you're outside and you want a little bit of a daylight type of a light, then you can put this little filter on top here. This is just a gel that you put inside of here, and then you just put this on over the top of the flash, and that's going to give you more of a daylight light. Or if you want to cool it down, you want a different effect, then you could put a blue gel on this or something like that, and then you can change the look of the person just by putting a different gel on it. So all it really does is change the color temperature of the light from the
Well, I
flash.
use those to match for tungsten. Those are, yeah. So when you're shooting indoors, you use those to match
You
the
can
tungsten light.
correct for.
So you can correct, because the
Right.
flashes are daylight balanced,
Right,
and
but
so you can use the tungsten gel to make it.
But
match
sometimes you want
tungsten.
maybe just a little bit different color on
Yeah.
the subject
Yeah.
too, or you,
You
want to
can-
change
yeah.
the color temperature on the subject. So, and sometimes like in a concert venue or something like that, you want just a slightly different look than the actual light that you're using in the.
That's a
theater
good
or something
example.
like
You
that.
can
So,
use a stronger gel, and I have a kit that has a number of different colors and multiple colors within.
Yeah.
So, for instance, like here's a
Where's the
this
other
is a
kit?
set. This isn't
Yeah, here's
the
all
one
the-
that I use, but
Here's all the cool gels. So you got all these different colors.
yeah,
Purple.
so you like purple.
That's a cool one.
And you can use those to add an effect, not necessarily correct for a particular temperature, but to introduce more color. And it's pretty expensive. Inexpensive.
Pretty expensive. You're gonna
Pretty
like that.
expensive.
really expensive there.
Yeah, it's an inexpensive. We talked in a previous
what would you
episode
shoot
about
with
gadgets.
purple? Yeah.
And
Are you purple with envy?
The purple one's cool, man. Don't knock the purple. Purple's
I like the
awesome.
purple.
So Susie, we got these
Yeah.
new little gadgets in from Rogue.
Yep.
And tell everybody a
You
little
get
bit
to
about
test
what
these.
these do. So you have your flash, and you're kind of
So,
limited of
will
what
you
you
hand me that one?
Sure.
Yeah. So directionally, these units let you adjust for up and down, or and left to right. So you can go left to right. But these modifiers let you.
Well, these things have a built-in modifier too.
They do. They have
So
a
it
little.
has a- it
it
has a
has a
white-
little pop-up. It has a couple of different.
So that's your
things.
white card or
This
your
is the
little
extent of
bounce card,
what's built in, right?
and so this
But
is much
you can
bigger.
essentially do the same thing here, and you strap it around. So this has a little buckle system that lets you do it just tension. That way you're not having to stick anything, no sticky residue or anything on your flash. But then this also has a bendable piece of wire in it that lets you curve this if you need to. And this one is pretty standard. You're not going to do a whole lot of different things with this particular little flash card size. But they have.
Well, this is pretty light,
Yeah.
compared to some other different things that they have out there. They have the Gary Fong big ball
Mm-hmm. Right.
and other things
the
that
Fong Dong.
Yeah, and then the I put the other little plastic ones on there. I try to put them on there, and you lose them. The little $5 ones.
Strobo, what are they called?
Well,
the strobo foam or whatever.
It takes up room in my bag too, where I'm always kind of working around it in my bag when I stick it in a pocket or something. And they're flat, and you can slide it inside the bag. You can fold it. Takes up very little space.
These are the ones that I like.
You can stick it in your pocket.
I like these, the strip boxes with the grids.
So now, moving away from, say, street photography, this is something I can see using
In a
as like a
softbox.
model shoot. So
Yeah,
can-
because
can
you got
set these up
a
on
nice big
stands.
soft box. You got strip boxes.
So you can set these up off to the side, and this is actually a 2-layered one. So you actually have it as a mini softbox, and then this one is the same flat material, but it's curved and has a front.
This is
on
an
it.
extra part too. So this comes apart.
Yeah.
You can take it apart and show. So that grid comes off. There you go. The grid
like
comes
it.
off.
It's basically
And this is the larger panel flash bender.
But yeah, these
So
things
for
are great.
portability-wise-
No, these things are great. See, here's what I use them
You
for.
can essentially
when you're
make a little-
outdoors, like say you're at an outdoor venue and it's nighttime, normally I try to bounce these things off a wall or, you know, bounce it off of some surface. But when you're outdoors, you don't have like a wall or a ceiling or anything to bounce off of. So essentially what you're doing is you're creating your own ceiling. And so the light just comes in and bounces and goes forward. And so that's pretty cool. And so you can also feather the light off by bending it. And so you can, you know, basically you can craft your light. They're really useful. I use these things all the time. I really do like them.
So with these ones they just sent us are the Flash Bender 2s. So what they did is they changed the material, because I have one of this size of the other one, and it's a lot heavier. And you were saying heavier duty, but to me, this is for portability wise, you know, this goes right in your suitcase. This takes up no more room than a pair of underwear. You know, you can put this in and it weighs, I don't even know, what did you look up to see what they weigh?
I didn't look up the
Does it
weight.
weigh more than
They
your
said
underwear?
that
It weighs a little more than the underwear, you know, especially when I take
Yeah.
like the bars out of my underwear and stuff.
they've lightened them up 20 to 30% prior to or compared to the version
They
1.
are a lot lighter, and that's the problem I was having, is that the heavier ones would pull this down, so then you'd have it where it was too
It's
heavy.
putting stress on your equipment. You don't want that.
Well, and when you're walking the street, it's all cumulative. So, you know, every few ounces you can save on everything really
Well,
helps.
here's the
Keeps your
beauty of it
backlighter.
is that you can fold it up and that fits in your pocket, you
Or
know.
in your camera bag.
Yeah, that you just put that right in your back.
Softbox. Look, this folds up to nothing too. In your, that's a softbox in your back pocket.
Right, and so I like the ribs in there because, you know, they're rigid enough to be rigid, but they, you know, they fold down to almost nothing, and they don't break. And so, like, you'll never really break this thing. See if we can break it.
So you know, a couple different options. You have, you know, a gridded softbox. Then you have the softbox feature here, which I'll take this off so you can see as well. So this comes off, same thing as that other one, but it's a softbox. So this front part's translucent, and then the back is the same, so you can bend it and everything. And it gives you a little reflective part on the top. I don't know if you'll be able to see. There's a little bit of reflector that kind of bounces
Shiny.
around there.
Shiny silver.
Yeah,
So
it's
you can
just-
pull this back and shoot regular, and then softbox it if you want a little bit softer light as well. So pretty cool stuff, different stuff. I know Sprague had showed these off at one that I don't know if it was these exact ones, but when we did a travel after hours, we had talked about some of
Right,
this stuff of how to kind of maximize it. But that was everything travel. That wasn't just flashes. So you brought this one out again too. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
The grid, that's awesome. Yeah,
Right.
the spot grid is something I use a lot too.
Yeah, this is kind of neat because, you know, the one thing that you have to consider once you're out there is where are you going to secure it. And these flashes do have tiny little stands, so you can put them remotely, and so you can put them on a table. But if there's no place that you can secure it, you can find a pipe or a chair or something like that. You've got this little clamp that you can buy, and this is a Manfrotto type clamp. And so basically, you just got a little cold shoe in here, basically, and then you can take this and hook it to a pipe, and it'll hold it, and then you can take it and shift it around just a little bit. And then with the gridded attachment to the flash, you can see that it just kind of goes on pretty easily and attaches. And then you've got
Now that
multiple
does
types
seem
of-
like a better improvement than the last version.
Yeah, this one
It seems a little bit more rigid in it.
Yeah, it seems like it attaches a little bit easier and
Yeah.
quicker than the one that I had previously. And this one also is next got it's got a set of grids for
Gels,
gels rather
yeah.
for it that go in behind here.
And maybe hold the grid up so they can see that piece, because they can't
Right.
see the honeycomb.
Yeah, here's
Part of that
the
grid.
honeycomb. If I can see this out with breaking it. There we go. Okay, so here's the attachment, and then you can adjust. You know,
Show the
you've got two
near
different
camera.
grids right
Yeah.
there. Okay, you know, so one is what 45 degrees, 90. Was it 45, 60, and 90 degree grids on this?
If you combine
combined?
them, I think it cuts it down more.
Yeah. So yeah, one or the other or both to cut the light down.
Yeah, these clamps are awesome. I use these in weddings a lot because a lot of times when you're in the reception, you're trying to minimize your footprint. And instead of putting up light stands all over the place, I usually just clamp these right to the DJ's stands. And then that way you can
Get them into tight spots.
you can get it
and
because
you do it while the DJ's stepped away.
no, you ask them. They all say yes.
I'm looking at him.
Only Nick would not
Yeah,
let
yeah,
you do it. He's like a bad DJ. He would never let you do it.
It's like,
But every other DJ, they're
Are
like,
you
oh
on my
yeah,
band?
hook it
Get
on.
your
It's
feet off my
great.
stage. Yeah.
No, DJs are
There's no real DJs out here.
most of them are good to work with. They let you hook onto their stands, so you hook them on, and then you save the footprint.
Sure.
And you save the hassle, and
Yeah, you don't have
you
to-
really put the light right where you need the light, because the DJ is usually right in front of the dance floor, which is exactly where you need to be, you know. So, yeah, these clamps are really great, and these grids are awesome too. I use
Well, that
those.
keeps it nice and focused, the grid, right? So if they want a spotlight like a squirrel or something on the dance floor, they
Well, yeah,
can, boom.
that's exactly like, so. Like, say you got the first dance going on, and you want to just light them. You don't want to light the whole room. You just want to put light on them. So, yeah, the grids, you just
It'll keep it
Spotlight,
focused,
yeah.
keep your ambient light in the back. So, you know, so you have portability. So this definitely hits the mark for portability, right? So
Yeah. And again, if you have this transmitter and multiple flashes, then you can have multiple lighting options in multiple parts of the room and still hit them. And
So,
it's really kind of a handy
price
solution.
point, if you already own the Speedlights, pretty good price point then. What you said these range from what to what when you looked it up?
The little pocket bounce card size, the small one, is about $25. Actually, the soft box covers this right here is only 19 something. This one.
So relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, then these go up from about 25 to 40.
Okay.
And then you can get a whole kit for about 200.
with the whole 9
Right.
yards.
And the one with the grid and everything, what was that? I think that one's 99 altogether.
So price point's pretty inexpensive if you already have
pretty
the
affordable.
Speedlight. If you need a Speedlight, there's the Yunago ones, right? What are those?
Yangnuos, which are, you know, they're the Chinese knockoffs of these, which they work. I know people who use them and they work just fine.
And those are a couple $100, right?
Yeah, they're a couple $100.
And then these
so-
are up to $500, I guess.
Yeah, the Canon brand and the Nikon brands, they're usually around, you know, $500 or so.
So still pretty affordable. And
Well-
then ease of use, they're pretty easy, as you saw. We're
Yeah.
putting together, taking apart while we're sitting here. It's not, and they, you know, they're pretty easy. Just pop them on, and you know, with this little Velcro strap, take them on, take them off.
The best way to buy the Canon lights is they usually have a kit where you get 2 of the strobes plus the transmitter, and generally the price buying all these combined knocks, you know, $300, $350 off buying them individually. So it's a pretty good
Yeah,
deal.
you're
And
pretty
then
much
you can
getting the
just-
transmitter for free.
Right. And then just maybe if you want a third one, just buy a third one, and those usually go on sale around Christmas time for a good price. So
Sure,
you
and
can
Nikon
get a
does the
pretty
same
good
thing.
set.
If you go to B&H, on our links to B&H, you'll be able to find all the discounts that we post up there. So cool. Well, you know, go out there and check these out. They are Rogue. We'll put some pictures and links up there. They're again pretty affordable, entry level. Maybe using stuff you already have and modifying it to make it a little bit better and make it a studio type setup out on the road or at a job or, you know, concert, whatever you want it to play with it. It kind of works for everything. So I think we've covered most of this stuff. I don't think we have too much else to say about it.
Yeah. I think
All
that's it.
right.
All right. Cheers.
Till next time. So leave your comments down there and join us on follow us, and we'll see you real soon.